the deeper meaning behind falling asleep during prayer. Have you ever drifted off while reciting the Rosary? If this sounds familiar, what you're about to discover will transform your understanding of prayer entirely. Many devotees wonder about the significance of succumbing to sleep during prayer, whether it's a negative occurrence or if it contains profound spiritual meaning. Perhaps you've experienced this yourself. You begin praying devoutly, but gradually your eyelids grow heavy, and before you realize it, you've fallen asleep. Through Padre Pio's wisdom, you'll comprehend the true importance of this experience in your spiritual journey. Padre Pio, who devoted himself to praying more than 30 rosaries daily, possessed deep insight into the spiritual significance of falling asleep during prayer. This phenomenon isn't trivial or merely a sign of physical exhaustion in certain instances. It may even indicate divine protection. Picture yourself at day's end, taking up your rosary with sincere devotional intent. Your thoughts concentrate on each prayer, but gradually weariness overtakes you, and despite your resistance, sleep prevails. Many experience guilt afterward, feeling they've failed in their spiritual commitment. However, Padre Pio's teachings on this subject reveal something profound. According to him, the Rosary serves as a powerful spiritual weapon, particularly in contemporary times. Like any valuable instrument in spiritual warfare, it naturally attracts opposition from forces attempting to prevent wholehearted engagement. This is why dozing off during the Rosary doesn't necessarily indicate simple fatigue. In reality, it may stem from 3 distinct causes, each carrying unique spiritual significance. You'll soon discover Padre Pio's explanation of this phenomenon and understand why sleep during prayer might represent spiritual conflict, a moment of divine safeguarding, or sometimes simply your body's natural need for rest. More importantly, you'll learn to identify which of these factors affects your personal prayer life. Have you noticed this drowsiness emerging specifically during prayer attempts? Have you ever experienced inexplicable peacefulness even when falling asleep mid-rosary? According to Padre Pio, these are indicators we must learn to interpret. His prayer teachings provide insights that remain as relevant today as they were during his lifetime. Through his spiritual wisdom and experience, we can better comprehend our own prayer encounters and discover methods to strengthen our divine connection. Prepare to uncover truths that will revolutionize your perception of prayer and provide fresh perspective on what it truly means to fall asleep while praying the Rosary. The insights you'll gain today will not only deepen your spiritual practice, but also help you better understand the mysteries surrounding prayer. If you've experienced this, don't be concerned. By the conclusion of this message, you'll clearly understand its meaning and know precisely how to respond when it occurs. Additionally, I'll share techniques Padre Pio taught for maintaining focus and presence during prayer. The Rosary transcends mere verbal repetition. Padre Pio considered it the most formidable weapon against spiritual adversaries. With the Rosary, we will triumph, he frequently declared while holding his well-worn beads. Examining his life reveals extraordinary moments where the Rosary played a crucial role. During his extended prayer vigils, he encountered intense spiritual battles, but whenever he grasped his Rosary, he experienced exceptional strength protecting him from attack. The Rosary's power manifests remarkably in everyday life. Perhaps you've noticed it after praying. You experience unexplainable tranquility, or suddenly, seemingly insurmountable problems begin finding unexpected resolutions. These aren't coincidences. Padre Pio explained that each Hail Mary resembles a rose presented to the Virgin Mary, who reciprocates by extending her protective mantle over us. During confessions, Padre Pio routinely recommended the Rosary as a remedy for various spiritual afflictions. Regardless of whether someone faced family challenges, financial difficulties, or internal struggles, his advice remained consistent. Pray the Rosary faithfully and witness miracles unfold. Even more fascinating is his assertion that evil forces tremble before the Rosary's power. Knowing this, they attempt to prevent us from praying it through different tactics, own being the sudden drowsiness that overtakes us mid-prayer. Now you begin to see the connection. Padre Pio shared that every faithfully spoken Hail Mary functions like a direct blow against evil forces. That's why, when we engage in devoted Rosary prayer, we sometimes encounter resistance, distractions, fatigue, or unexpected sleepiness. However, this sensation doesn't always have negative origins. What truly matters is understanding its meaning and learning to distinguish between spiritual battle, special protection, and simple physical necessity. With this understanding, your approach to praying the Rosary will completely transform, strengthening your spiritual life with renewed perspective. In his teachings, Padre Pio identified 3 signs revealing the Rosary's true power: the profound peace experienced during and after prayer, positive transformations in daily life, and special protection received during difficult periods. When praying the Rosary, we activate a spiritual fortress shielding us from attacks we often don't perceive. For Padre Pio, each mystery we contemplate strengthens our soul, constructing a protective barrier, Hail Mary, by Hail Mary against influences that might distance us from faith. Perhaps you've encountered people discouraging Rosary prayer, calling it monotonous or repetitive. However, Padre Pio firmly countered these arguments. The Rosary most disturbs spiritual adversaries precisely because of its simplicity and power. This simplicity constitutes its greatest strength. While repeating Hail Marys, our minds and hearts elevate to faith's deepest mysteries. This combination of vocal prayer and meditation generates protective spiritual energy around devoted practitioners. Understanding the Rosary's true power helps us comprehend why falling asleep during prayer carries different meanings. Sometimes it represents a battle we must face. Other times it signals special protection. And occasionally, it simply indicates bodily need for rest. What we must never forget is that every faithfully prayed Hail Mary possesses transformative power in our lives. Whether recited with complete concentration or interrupted by fatigue, what truly matters is perseverance and trust in this prayer's effectiveness. Now that we've explored the Rosary's power, let's examine Padre Pio's teachings about sleep during prayer more deeply. 3 fundamental causes explain why we fall asleep while praying. First is natural fatigue. Our body, serving as the Holy Spirit's temple, requires rest. We shouldn't feel guilty when exhaustion overcomes us during prayer. If sleep arrives while praying after an exhausting day, it may simply fulfill a biological need. To identify natural fatigue, Padre Pio noted that this type of sleep develops gradually rather than suddenly. It typically follows particularly demanding days, and importantly, doesn't accompany feelings of restlessness or distress. The second cause presents greater complexity. spiritual attacks. Padre Pio cautioned that when the Rosary begins transforming our lives, we might encounter spiritual resistance. Among the adversary's common tactics is sudden, inexplicable drowsiness that appears precisely when we begin praying. Unlike natural fatigue, this sleep emerges abruptly and intensely, even without physical exhaustion. It frequently occurs during crucial prayer moments. Interestingly, this drowsiness often appears when prayer is most needed, or proving especially effective. For Padre Pio, these interferences paradoxically indicate that our prayer impacts the spiritual realm and therefore meets resistance. The third cause proves perhaps most surprising: special protection. According to Padre Pio, sometimes falling asleep during Rosary prayer doesn't obstruct, but rather provides divine safeguarding. In such moments, our soul receives protection from overly intense spiritual battles that we're currently unprepared to face. To recognize this special protection, Padre Pio identified clear signs: profound peace, persisting during and after sleep, spiritual renewal upon waking, and often the impression that something significant transpired during prayer. Padre Pio explained that we shouldn't resist this sleep, comparing it to a father carrying his sleeping child away from danger. Our soul receives shielding from unseen threats, with God in His infinite wisdom helping us avoid them. If you've ever awakened from such sleep feeling inexplicably refreshed or experiencing unusual peace, you may have encountered this divine protection. How should we respond to each cause? Padre Pio provided clear instructions. For natural fatigue, accept it humbly, understanding that your body needs rest. Rather than viewing sleep as an obstacle, divide the Rosary into periods when you're more alert and focused. If sudden sleep stems from spiritual resistance, persist with greater determination. Remember that each Hail Mary strikes against whatever seeks to separate you from God. If you sense sleep represents protective action, rest confidently, knowing you remain under the Virgin's care and divine grace that shields you from unseen dangers. Whenever grasping the Rosary, we participate in spiritual warfare, where faith and perseverance constitute our greatest weapons. Padre Pio taught that regardless of obstacles, continuing prayer remains paramount. Each prayer strengthens us, provides comfort, and offers guidance needed to face each day with hope and trust in divine love. Padre Pio left valuable insights on addressing sleep during the Rosary and using it to strengthen spiritual life. Rather than mere distraction or weakness, it presents an opportunity to better understand our prayer journey. The key lies in discerning what type of sleep we experience and responding appropriately. For natural fatigue, the best strategy involves humbly accepting the need for rest and adapting practice accordingly. We can divide the Rosary into smaller segments or pray during more alert times. Maintaining proper posture, promoting concentration, walking gently while praying, or choosing well-ventilated spaces helps maintain alertness. When sleep has spiritual origins intended to hinder prayer, Padre Pio teaches perseverance. He recommends praying aloud firmly, changing position when sleep approaches, making the sign of the cross, and continuing determinedly. He also suggests confidently invoking Mary's name, as her presence creates a protective shield against distractions. Such resistance indicates our prayer's real spiritual impact, requiring steadfastness. However, when sleep signals special protection, Padre Pio advises something entirely different. Rather than fighting it, accept it gratefully. understanding it may represent graceful intervention and trusting in soul safeguarding. During these moments, we experience profound peace and spiritual rest transcending physical sleep. Instead of forcing wakefulness, maintain prayerful hearts, offering thanks for this protection and allowing grace to work within. For rosary preparation, Padre Pio recommended creating suitable prayer environments. This includes selecting appropriate, well-ventilated, quiet spaces, maintaining postures promoting attentiveness and reverence, and holding the rosary intentionally, making each bead a tangible faith connection. This facilitates deep meditation. Beginning with brief prayers requesting focused grace helps cultivate proper prayer disposition. Several techniques aid concentration maintenance. Visualizing the mysteries under meditation and connecting each Hail Mary with specific sacred history aspects proves effective. Maintaining steady, unhurried rhythm and using sacred images as contemplative supports also help. One profound practice Padre Pio taught involves heart prayer, synchronizing Hail Mary recitations with breathing, creating peaceful, deep, divine connection. During particularly challenging prayer moments, renewing intention at each mystery's beginning and offering each rosary decade for specific purposes helps. Remembering that each Hail Mary represents a rose offered to Mary and maintaining perseverance despite lacking special feelings remain key devotional aspects. Padre Pio emphasized that prayer's value lies not in perfection, but in the love and consistency of its performance. Even when struggling against sleep, offering that struggle lovingly enhances prayer's value immensely. To develop deeper rosary relationship, begin with few beads prayed with complete attention, gradually increasing according to capacity. Establishing regular prayer schedules and creating environments conducive to recollection also benefits practice. These practical strategies, combined with understanding sleep's three causes during prayer, help develop richer, more meaningful prayer lives. Padre Pio assures that every effort, however seemingly small, holds immense spiritual value. What matters isn't prayer quantity but devotional quality. Prayer perseverance, despite difficulties, brings us closer to God and strengthens faith. Thus, each prayed rosary, each lovingly spoken Hail Mary, and each prayer moment even accompanied by sleep draws us closer to divine grace. Padre Pio's teachings reveal completely new perspectives on sleep's meaning during rosary prayer, dispelling many faithful practitioners' doubts and concerns. We've learned this phenomenon may have three distinct origins: natural fatigue, spiritual attacks, and special protection. Each cause requires different response, but most importantly, prayer perseverance must always prevail over perfection. Padre Pio assures us against discouragement when sleep appears. Instead, view it as opportunity to strengthen divine relationship and deepen spiritual life. Now consider making a special 7-day commitment. I invite you to pray the rosary with particular attention to your experience. Observe when sleep appears, how it manifests, and what sensations you experience during and after prayer. This observational exercise will help identify your experience type and apply appropriate learned strategies. Maintain simple experience records, practice suitable techniques for each situation, and above all, maintain courage despite difficulties. Every small prayer advancement represents victory. Padre Pio reminds us that every lovingly prayed Hail Mary holds immense value, even amid sleep struggles. Imagine how truly understanding these prayer moments' meaning will impact your life. You'll no longer feel guilt when sleep overtakes you. Instead, you'll discern its origin and respond appropriately. If this message has blessed you, share it with others facing similar doubts and concerns. Padre Pio taught that spiritual knowledge multiplies when shared lovingly. Together, we can form prayer chains, extending beyond this message to reach those most needing it. With better understanding of sleep's significance during prayer, you can maximize this spiritual gift. Don't fear fatigue during prayer. Instead, apply these learned strategies. Maintain steadfast rosary commitment and share these teachings with those needing them. If this message has inspired you, help it reach others. Subscribe to continue receiving transformative teachings from Padre Pio. Remember that every faithfully prayed Hail Mary adds another rose to your life's spiritual garden. We'll reconnect in our next encounter with more revelations enriching your faith journey. Will you accept the 7-day challenge? Comment your commitment and begin this transformational journey today. Share this message with those needing this wisdom and become a light for those seeking strengthened divine relationship.